Well, Pope Francis was one of the most visible men in the world. His worship services and public events followed by tens of millions of people every day.
But what was it like to actually see the Pope behind the scenes, working, traveling, even sharing a joke? NBC News' Jay Gray with more on the personal side of the Pope.
He led more than 1 billion Catholics around the world, but only a select group of journalists had a 30,000-foot view of Pope Francis's journey. NBC News correspondent Claudio Lavagna is part of the Vatican Accredited Media Personnel, or VAMP. It's made up of about 70 members of the press who travel with the Pope on board Shepherd 1. Over the past 20 years, Lavagna's covered Popes John Paul II, Benedict, and Francis.
It's like following a rock star around the world.
His papal name, Francis, was chosen to honor the saint of the poor, the people Lavagna says the late Pope seemed happiest to be around.
He wanted the poor church. He wanted to reach out to the last of the last. Not politicians, not leaders, just the people, especially the people who had nothing. Perhaps the most important that they had was faith.
Lavagna says the spiritual leader had quite the sense of humor, and he recalls pulling a prank on the Pope during a flight to Morocco.
When he extended his hand, I just pulled it away, and he was shocked.
The joke, a play on this viral video showing the Pope refusing to let well-wishers kiss his ring.
You know, a lot of people are asking themselves, why didn't you allow this faithful to shake your hand or kiss your hand? And he laughed, and he took my hand, and he slowly explained that he did it for hygienic reasons.
As loved as Francis was, he did have his critics.
There were a lot of unfulfilled promise to this pontificate.
One of his most iconic and historic moments came when the world shut down due to COVID. Pope Francis standing in an empty St. Peter's Square, praying for the pandemic to end.
The Pope is the shepherd of the world, and I think that image will last a very long time.
Weigel contends the next Pope will have a different vision for the Church.
I think we are going to see a conclave focused on a return to a more orderly process of decision-making in Rome.
While in many ways Pope Francis changed the papacy, some say it never changed him.
He really always was Jorge Bergoglio, which was his real name, and he never lost that for one day.
Jay Gray, NBC News.
Once again, we are taking a live look this morning at the Vatican City in Rome, where there are so many people there that are starting to gather to recognize him. And just yesterday, the Pope was seen riding the Pope-mobile for Easter services. Francis was known as a reformer who rattled the Catholic churches, traditionalists, and inspired progressives by reaching out to gay people and championing the rights of immigrants and the poor. Here's what some of those mourners had to say just after the news broke.
I don't live in Rome. I live in Milan, and I'm here for Easter. And I find it very significant that the Pope has died during Easter, or the Easter weekend. I'm from Argentina. The Pope is Argentinian, so, you know, it has quite a bit of significance for us.
How you feel?
It's a moment of a bit of sadness, and at the same time, thankfulness and celebration of life.
And just earlier this morning, this is a look at Vatican officials announcing the death of Pope Francis. The whole announcement is in Italian. In 2 weeks, his successor will be chosen during a secret meeting called Conclave, which can take days to complete. We'll have much more on the passing and his legacy he leaves behind throughout the day, right here on WCNC Plus and during our live Impact News on WCNC Plus.
You'll see a public outpouring of support and condolences for the Pope over the next week or two before the conclave, as I mentioned. All this prescribed by Catholic canon over the last 2,000 years, 250 popes. It's the way it's done. Yep. That's the way it's always been done. And you'll see that as well. Evidently, though, choosing to be laid to rest outside the Vatican. Some are there at St. Peter's Basilica. He evidently chooses to be outside the Vatican there nearby in Rome. But we'll keep you posted throughout the day right here on WCNC Plus.